What up, YouTube? It's your boy Sim the Goat 5, man. Back with a new one. You know what I'm saying? We got a good one for you today. Um, we're talking about this Lil Dirk situation. You know, right now he's pretty much incarcerated by the feds. You know what I'm saying? So waiting on to be expedited back to California, I guess. Uh, what we got today is the fact that we're gonna get into some videos to show the fact how all this came about to the point is, he's facing life or death possibility. You know what I'm saying? And see if the streets talking saying that if he's going to snitch or not. But me, from from what I gather, my knowledge of the situation, what I gather from sources and stuff like that, he ain't that type to do that because his daddy didn't do that. Well, his daddy was incarcerated. Now I seen a video clip. Now I'm gonna let y'all see that probably when I put it up. I seen a video clip of his daddy, Big Dirk. He pretty much said, they tried to get him to, you know, uh, fold on Larry Hoover, allegedly, you know. But he didn't go. He didn't go for that because he wasn't built like that. He's a solid dude. He did his time and then he got out. I'm talking about Big Dirk, Dirk's father, you know. So let's get into it, man. Y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. Hit that like button, you know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Arrested him for hiring.
Hold on, man.
Shooters to kill Quando Rondo. Dirk was about to fly to Italy and escape the situation, but then he got busted by the feds and now could be facing a death penalty or a RICO. And today we're breaking down why Lil Dirk could get locked up for life. On October 24th, news broke that 3 OTF affiliates and 2 other dudes had been arrested for killing Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pop, back in 2022. Cuz, Didi, Flocka, Brown Eyes, and Boogie were all hit with charges for murder for hire, committing fraud for hire resulting in death, and carrying and discharging firearms machine gun. According to the indictment, after King Von was killed by Quando Rondo's homie Lil Tim in 2020, someone in OTF put a bag on Quando's head. The first documents that came out didn't have Dirk's name listed, but it's allegedly been confirmed that he's listed as co-conspirator 1. And according to the paperwork, Dirk made clear in coded language that he would pay anyone who took out Quando Rondo after Lil Tim killed Von. And besides handing out some cash for the hit, the paperwork also says Dirk was offering the shooters a deal with OTF too. The paperwork says that Cuz used an OTF credit card and bought plane tickets to fly the rest of the shooters out to California. Cuz was in Miami at the time, but he took a private jet to LA and met up with everyone else there. The OTF dudes got the info that Quando was staying at a hotel in LA, and they jumped into action as soon as they got his location. When Cuz landed in LA, he booked a room at the Universal City Hotel, and that's where he handed out guns to the rest of the crew. Cuz also rented a white BMW and a white sedan, and those are the whips that the shooters used to track Quando down when he was riding around the city with his sister and his cousin Lil Pop. They allegedly followed Quando around for 2 days. And then they decided to pull the hit off when he parked at a gas station on Beverly Boulevard. Boogie drove his whip into an alley behind the gas station and parked. And that's when Flocka, Brown Eyes, and another shooter that wasn't named in the documents got out and walked up on Quando's whip and started letting off shots. Quando and his sister both made it out of the situation alive and without getting hit. But Lil Pop was killed on scene, and Quando was recorded screaming while the paramedics pulled Pop's body from the whip. Then right after the hit went down, the whole crew met up at a burger spot and talked about how much they were all going to get paid. It's not clear how much they all ended up getting, but that same day, somebody used an OTF-affiliated credit card to buy plane tickets for Didi, Flocka, Brown Eyes, and Boogie to fly back to Chicago. According to rumors, Dirk knew the indictment was about to come down, and he tried to fly to Italy to escape.
Sometimes, the only thing called them running a business, finding the right words.
The rest of the crew were all in Chicago when the cops arrested them, but Dirk was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The feds were tracking every move he made, and they found out that Dirk booked 2 different flights to Dubai and Switzerland, but he didn't get on either one of them. Then at 6:40 p.m., the FBI discovered that Dirk had booked a private jet to Italy that was supposed to take off at 9 p.m. from Miami. Dirk almost made it to the airport, but the feds caught him just an hour before the jet took off and booked him for putting the hit out on Rondo. And according to the indictment, Dirk and his crew were already trying to get ahead of the situation and had been threatening witnesses. It's not clear who the witnesses are in the case, but rumors are flying right now that one of Dirk's own homies is the reason that everyone got caught. OTF Jam came up with Dirk and has been tight with him for years. But before the drill wave popped off in Chicago, Jam got booked on an attempted murder charge and went down for 12 years. Jam was allegedly putting in major work in the streets, and while he was locked up, Dirk shouted him out on tracks like Back Again when he raps, "Jammer, get out that jam, I'll give him 50. Ain't gotta ask again." He was catching murders way back then. That's when the Max was in. And on the track Try Me, Dirk shouted him out again and raps, "Dirty don't jam, it's like Aquafina. Free my nigga Jam, that little boy a demon." When Jam finally came home, he linked back up with Dirk and confirmed that Dirk gave him even more than 50K. Jam was trying to get into the rap game too, but then in 2023, he caught a gun charge and got locked up again. While he was in jail, one of Jam's baby mamas allegedly got killed, and rumors say that Jam had some beef with some other dudes in OTF. And now rumors are flying that Jam wore a wire for years around Dirk and the rest of OTF after he got out of prison. There's no evidence to back the story up right now though, but some people think Dirk already knew there was a rat in his crew. Back in 2022, Dirk dropped the track Federal Nightmares and raps, "When trial come, it ain't your phone, it be your homie though. He on the stand with his head down like he don't know me though. It ain't no point in getting no lawyer if your homie told. He was with you on them late nights in them fast cars and them ski masks." Jam isn't the only dude who's allegedly involved with the case that Dirk raps about. Didi, aka Deesky, allegedly helped plan the hit on Quando. Dees caught a murder case in 2014, but got out on bond in 2019. And on the track before Fajr, Dirk shouted out and raps, "I know they really hate me now because I'm more famous. He can't even make it out the city. He ain't make no more bangers. Whenever Deesky beat his murder, he gonna be more and more dangerous. How these killers get on the net, you would think there's no more gangsters." Dirk getting locked up with all the shooters was already wild, but rumors were also flying that Brick Baby might be caught up in the situation too. Brick Baby and Dirk have been locked in together for years. They linked up in the studio, and people thought Brick had a deal with OTF, but it looks like Dirk and him might have had street ties that went deeper than rap. Before Quando Rondo went to LA, he had linked up with an OG from the Rolling 60s Crips named Big U. Quando reps the Rolling 60s in Savannah, but that doesn't mean he's cool with all the 60s on the West Coast. Brick Baby also reps the Rolling 60s in LA, but he's been dissing Quando for years and said Quando wanted Big U to help him squash the beef with the BDs in Chicago. And in the same interview, Brick Baby said that Dirk's ops were his ops too.
That's my boy. I'm not from BD, from 60s, but you lose you my boy. Like my ops, your ops at this point.
People started connecting Brick Baby to the Lil Pop hit, so Brick Baby hopped online and squashed the rumors.
"Stop playing with my name, point blank, period, nigga. On 6-0 Crip, nigga. Niggas die every day, nigga. That shit don't got nothing to do with me, nigga. On 6-0, you internet's niggas steady putting stories together. You niggas on the street, no, I don't got nothing to do with it, bitch ass nigga."
But then he made people even more suspicious when he dropped the track Brick Lotto with OTF C3. Brick Baby didn't diss Quando on the track, but C3 raps, "Tell Smirk I need perk. I'm finna ride like them killers do. I heard they claiming 60, have them real hoods get at you." Then Brick Baby dry snitched on Dirk like crazy during another No Jumper interview. After Von died, people were dissing Dirk for not sliding for Von. But after Lil Pop got killed, Brick Baby said that people didn't say Dirk didn't slide for Von anymore.
Slide for Von, right?
Nobody.
Yeah.
They say you can't say that no more.
That nigga
Why?
did some shit.
Oh, yeah, because of FBG Cash? Or who?
He should have never said nothing like that.
Nah, cause Lil Pop.
Brick Baby was live on No Jumper when the news broke about Dirk and the OTF crew getting booked. And Brick Baby looked terrified when he realized it was the feds and not the state police who were involved with the situation. Rumors say that Brick Baby's the one who dropped Quando's location to the OTF crew. Brick Baby has real street ties all over LA, so there's a good chance he'd be able to find out where Quando was. Plus, Quando allegedly checked in with Big U before he came to the city, so the 60s would have already known that Quando was coming to LA. There's no evidence that Brick Baby's actually involved with the case, but if he is the one who dropped Quando criminal's location and help the shooters out, the feds will definitely find out and book him on an accessory charge or more. What makes the whole situation even clearer is that Dirk is more famous right now than he's ever been. He won his first Grammy back in February 2024 for the track All My Life. Dirk started acting and joined 50 Cent's show Power Book 2, Ghost. And a few days before he got arrested, Dirk was given the keys to Chicago by Mayor Katrina Thompson from Broadview and Mayor Andre Harvey from Bellwood. After Dirk got the keys, his youth foundation, Neighborhood Heroes, hosted a fireside chat with 50 young dudes where Dirk and his dad talked to them about focusing on their goals. Then the next day, Dirk was at a prayer event in Chicago and said promoting spiritual well-being and fostering unity is essential to the work we do at Neighborhood Heroes. And right after that, Dirk performed in front of 18,000 people at the United Center with Lil Baby and Sexy Red. It seemed like Dirk was really trying to get back to the community and turn everything around, but nobody knew that might have been his last concert ever. After Dirk got arrested, Mayor Katrina Thompson from Broadview took away Lil Dirk's key to the city, cut ties with his Neighborhood Heroes Foundation, and said that even though Dirk is innocent until proven guilty, Broadview has even higher moral and ethical standards of behavior. A couple of years ago, Dirk went on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and Wallow begged him not to slide for bond. Wallow told Dirk about how he forgave his own brother's killer, and Dirk needed to move on before he ended up dead or in jail.
I forgave my brother's killer, and I'm saying it to say this. Nigga that killed my brother, my brother died in my grandma's arms. If I ain't let that shit go, I won't be right here today. I won't be here. My niece and my nephews, me and Gil won't be doing this. Y'all won't know me. I won't be able to give y'all this game. But I had to leave. I had to let that shit go. Now I'm out here taking care of his daughter, paying for her to go to school, taking care of my nephew, taking care of my mama and my grandmama.
Talk to him. So,
Because I ain't my brother killer, but you know, I understand. I understand what y'all going through. But I love all you young niggas in here. And I mean that shit.
Lil Dirk didn't listen though, and a few months later, he allegedly ordered a hit on Quando and got his cousin Lil Pop killed. Now Dirk and his whole crew are facing the death penalty, and everyone knows that the feds don't book anyone unless they're confident that they can get a conviction. The situation isn't looking good for Dirk right now, but tap in for updates because this case is just getting started.
I voted for Trump twice, but not this time. Trump wants a sales tax on imported goods. It'll be more expensive, all while giving tax breaks to billionaires. Kamala Harris will cut taxes for 100 million Americans. I'm voting for Kamala Harris.
Hold on a minute. Go back. I'm gonna let y'all see that video. When Lil Dirk daddy was talking about. There we go.
Everybody always got the story where like, man, my locked up, we grew up in a house, everybody got the same story. But it was like my story was my daddy on the biggest gangster in the world, Larry Hoover. So he got 26 years for that. So me growing up with my mom and my brother and them, it was like, couldn't nobody tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it was like, I had to choose my road. So me being bad as shit till I just started realizing life. So now when I be in my kids' life, it's like, okay, bet I gotta do better. But
just a few days before Lil Dirk got indicted, he had one of his biggest concerts to date, and he was also pulling closer to God through his daily walk in life and his evolution of a man. And in today's video, we're gonna cover Big Dirk, Lil Dirk's dad, as well as Lil Dirk's walk with God to a degree, and how that could possibly be a factor in what he's going through today. Big Dirk, Lil Dirk's dad, went and did all of that time in the penitentiary based on the fact that he did not want to tell on Larry Hoover, the leader of the GDs, and he went and did his time and stood tall as a man should.
One of the other interviews, you said that your dad was caught with like $8 million, 6 bricks.
yeah, that's why I wanted to be just like him. $8 million, shit.
So your dad had $8 million in the stash when he got busted.
$8 million. I wonder why the fuck why he had it that spot.
Wow. Because you don't really see like people stacking up that amount of money in the streets.
No, you don't. Like nowadays, so many people telling, and everybody want to be low profile. But nowadays, you never know. Everybody want to sell drugs. Everybody want to rap. Everybody ain't doing what they supposed to be doing, basically.
How many years did your dad get when he got locked up?
They gave him he's still fighting his case. They gave him life, but he's looking good for his case on the appeal back, so he will be turning the streets again. I'm gonna hold him down till he get it.
Do you talk to him a lot?
Yeah, I talk to him every day.
How did
So, when you first caught your case, your federal case, how did that actually transpire?
Well, actually, I was on my way to 26 in California to go to a court proceeding. So soon as I was walking up the stairs to go through the doors, the feds was coming out the door and they grabbed me right then and there, took me to another side door, right out the back behind the building, into a car and shot me down there on Van Buren to the federal court building. They put me in this interrogation room, and it was a couple of agents in there. It was a U.S. attorney in there. And they said, listen, because I have a driver who brought me there and dropped me off at the front of the place. He wouldn't park the car. They said, listen, don't nobody know that we got you right now. No one. They said, we'll put you right back on 26 and your driver don't even know you gone already. We'll put you back on 26 if you give us Larry Hoover.
Damn.
I said, what? So you give us Larry Hoover, we'll put you back on 26 and you'll work for us. I went in my pocket.
Now, here's the thing about the Fed. They're going to pretty much try to influence you and do anything in their power to just get you to, to justify their situation, to tell on somebody else. Or they'll put you back out on the street or court. If you rat, they're going to put you back out on the street. And then same thing, they're going to end up coming. Once they get who they want, in the end, they coming back for you. That's how they work. You might get a lesser time or something like that, but for all you young homies, I'm telling you, listen, stay solid, man. Regardless of what it is, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much snitching going on these days. It's just crazy out here in the world. Like, what happened to the real code of the street? The no snitch, snitching got doing violation. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy that every day I wake up, I see somebody done told this, somebody done told that, somebody done told on this person. That way of life, it seems like it's just gone, man. Like, you still got a lot of solid around here. Don't get me wrong now. There's a lot of solid dudes out here in the street. But let's get back into the video.
Pocket, pulled out the card to my lawyer, slid it on the table, and said, call my lawyer. And from then on, 26 years later, here I am, free man, without telling, without compromising, without being someone I'm not, rats, stool pigeons, people who tell things to get out. This is the type of life, we don't live this type of life. I'm a Muslim first and foremost, no doubt about it. But even in Islam, we don't believe in telling. We don't believe in rats. We don't believe in stool pigeons. So for someone to try to tell you to tell on somebody else to save your own neck and all this, you get in this thing, you hold your own weight. That's how people got to look at it. I'm in this, and I hold my own weight. You don't bring nobody else into this. You don't tell on nobody else to save your own skin. Get out of it. That's not your lifestyle. That's not what you're about. Get up out of it, But when the thing hits, when it hit, the impact come in, you continue to stand strong. You continue to go down for what you believe in, and don't bring nobody else down with you. I like the I think it's Jeezy. I like the little saying he said in his little rap song, if you ever get caught up, don't mention my name. You know, that's just one of the slogans I like, you know, and that's one thing people should take as an L. You get jammed up, don't mention my name. Don't mention nobody's name. Just do you, you know.
Huh?
Hmm?
Yeah! Oh.
With the Muslim transition for Big Dirk, in my opinion, right? He must have put the old life down and came renewed, right? He started a part of his life of redemption, right? Which, for y'all that don't know, redemption is how you give back. It's an ongoing process of always giving back. Now that can be the redemption to God, that can be the redemption to the family around you, your friends, blase, right? So on this redemptive path that Big Dirk took, right? When he got home, he ultimately was reunited with Lil Dirk, right? His other son had got killed, right? D-Thing had got killed. Now, Lil Dirk, after his father's arrival, started getting closer to God himself. And, you know, even in the last few days before his indictment, you know, he was taking part in many various Muslim activities, right? I don't know the specific ones, but y'all can do y'all's due diligence if you really need to know them. Nonetheless, the man was pulling closer to God. And for me, I know through life experience that when you try to get closer to God, things might tend to get harder for you. You know, a lot of people will, especially people that become new to the faith or become new believers, you know, when they start devoting themselves to God, they start having harder times, right? Life starts getting harder because that process is a redemptive as well as a refining process that God does to the chosen ones, his children. And that's a purifying process that really is going to see where your faith is at, though. You know what I mean? Is your faith really going to lie in God and knowing the process? And it's an ugly picture, right? To know that Lil Dirk is going through what he's going through right now, you know, even though his heart may have turned over from that old heart that might have been the heart that ultimately led him to do or be involved with in the whole nine, right? A man can always change and always evolve. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. And Big Dirk was and still is a huge picture of that, though, right? He's a refined, changed man, right? And the stuff Lil Dirk is going through now is similar to what Big Dirk actually went through when he got arrested and went and did all that penitentiary time, because Big Dirk, one of the people that told on him was one of his own cousins.
Police,
right?
Big Dirk says that he never thought the money would ever stop because he was running an airtight operation. He said that he was on the streets 24/7, but the cops were only out there 8 hours a day. So there was no way they would ever catch up to him because he was always a step ahead. He thought that maybe he'd eventually retire from the game, but never thought he'd actually get caught. Despite his careful planning and hustler mentality, the police would eventually catch up with him. Big Dirk would be arrested for distribution of cocaine and sentenced to life in prison in 1994. He was accused of being the primary organizer of a crack cocaine empire that lasted from the fall of 1991 to May of 93. Dirk would even go as far as sourcing the cocaine and then cooking it into crack himself, which he would then bag for individual sale. He had a huge network of dealers who would help him push the product on the streets and even count the money for him. His top men, Robert Shipp, Mario Dunlop, and Alton Mills, would be arrested along with him and also receive life sentences for their participation in the drug trafficking ring. Their empire all came crashing down after a woman named Tasha Woods, who was involved in overseeing the street sales of the crack, agreed to testify against them in court. What made the snitching even worse was that Tasha was Mario's girlfriend and Big Dirk's blood cousin.
Feeling lonely and looking for a second someone, but dating sites don't work for you? tired of scrolling.
That got the whole little situation. And here we are with Lil Dirk, and now the whole situation is even with the credit cards and all that stuff. The wire, OTF Jam wore a wire for 2 years. Childhood best friend bought him house, car, dropped 50K large on him as soon as he came home. And the thanks he did is dude wore a wire for 2 years and got all these conversations, and he don't give a damn. He gonna sacrifice the breadwinner for his life though, right? But is that inherited though? Is that the sins of the forefathers right there? Is that a generational curse that Lil Dirk is going through right there? Because I mean, you think about it, right? You know, the DNA carries the strong suits and spiritual properties into this world as we know it, right? The one drop of semen, right? That semen, that one little sperm that does all that work, right? That does all that work. The one little sperm that one little sperm that gets in there and becomes a life, right? Becomes you as a baby, grows big, you know, the whole process. Now, could there really be the sins of the forefathers carrying in that seed of his right there into this world right here? Now, Lil Dirk, his whole prophecy of life is to repeat the struggles of his dad to a degree, but he can't break the shackles of it, right? He can't break the shackles without God's help. God is the only help that Lil Dirk or Big Dirk ever have in this battle right here to break those chains of a generational curse. But y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think. Is this anything to do with a generational curse? Let me know in the comments below. Now, we see Larry Hoover, we see Big Dirk, we see Tukey Williams, we see all these motherfucking people who are like legends to the street, right? That when they get locked up, they get stuck with that bid or the chance of never coming home or the death penalty for some. Once again, they renounce their gang though, right? They renounce it. They're changed. They're devout now to a religion. And ain't nothing wrong being devout to a religion or finding God when you're incarcerated. Because I mean, being incarcerated is the belly of the beast. So I mean, finding light in the dark right there. That's why so many people come to God, because they're locked up in that darkness right there. But you know, it's interesting for Big Dirk, right? Big Dirk did all that time, stood solid. You know, even as a Muslim, he never told, right? And I don't think that not snitching is just a criminal thing, right? It's more of an honor amongst men to a degree, right? Taking out the criminal properties of it, right? It's an ownership issue, right? Like if you do something that you know is wrong and then you cop for it, you can't cry and point the finger and do none of that shit and sacrifice somebody else's life for yours so you can get back out there because you fucked up. Nah. Like, no, it don't work like that. But, you know, you be, you know, looking at the world at large today. I mean, you look at some of the celebrity figures and entertainers that have done this blatantly out there in the open. And I mean, they're still open armed, being received by their communities. And, you know, there is no like law and order for that no more. You know, it's crazy. Once again, we got to go through all these struggles and all this right here just to realize all that shit is nonsense, though. You know, nonsense. You know, young cat be on this channel. I hope y'all take heed, not just to me, but to all the other stuff you hear from these cats that's already been down that road. That a lot of y'all are traveling, because a lot of y'all are hard headed, and y'all gonna have to go down that whole path yourself. And may God be with you on that journey right there, because that's a path right there that's full of bumps and bruises and all kinds of good shit. But y'all let me know. Am I making sense to y'all? Let me know in the comments right there. I know this shit might be going over some people's heads. You know, it's a little bit deeper than the surface conversation and all the other Lil Dirk videos that are floating on your motherfucking timeline. But that's why this channel is views of a.
All right, we're gonna go back to the forefront. Big Buddy talks some good, pretty good stuff. Now you see, you can really see what really going on. You heard Dirk what he said. He said, "I want to be like my father. I want to be like my dad." You know? Let's see.
everybody, it's Eric Trump. We're truly down to the final stretch. Let's win this thing. Everybody's seen the disaster in the last 4 years.
Let's talk about Stephon Mack and Octavia Redmond. Octavia Redmond is a postal worker, right? She unfortunately lost her life in Chicago a while ago while she was working and delivering mail. She actually was smiling during the time. You hear what I'm saying? She actually was smiling during this time when the 15-year-old killed her. Stephon Mack, he's the guy who's being tied to killing OTFD thing. We're gonna keep saying allegedly, but other people who put this information out are saying it's 100% true. But Stephon Mack was the one they attributed to killing OTFD thing, Lil Dirk's older brother, who D-Thing would have been indicted during the FBG Duck trial, and he possibly would have get a life sentence too. Let's just be honest, because they showed how he orchestrated it through the phone. But let's fast forward from there. Octavia Redmond, I didn't want to make the story about it when they sent it to me because of her age. She's 48 years old, and they're trying to say she is the baby mama of OTF Jam. Now, the only way I could believe that was his baby mama if I knew the age of his kids, but I'm not trying to even get into all that because a lot of us didn't want to believe that story because of her age. But I will admit, she's 48 years old, but she looks beautiful. She got a banging body. I had girlfriends who are 15, 20 something years older than me. So it's not far-fetched. And then if you murder, allegedly was testifying and little things.
I'm trying to see he got video on. He ain't showing that.
What Rondo have going with the feds that
I know he
fixed all the problems?
Shout out to I ain't smoke, man, but I know he has some good content, but I'm trying to just see. Let's see.
Juggling multiple client sites? Supercharge your productivity with AI made for
Chicago rapper Lil Dirk is in police custody this morning.
And he was allegedly involved in a murder for hire plot.
Lil Dirk just got hit with one of the most intense charges of his career. We're not talking about a simple arrest here. This is about murder for hire and is tied directly to the murder of his close friend King Von. This isn't just another headline. It's a story of revenge, loyalty, and an alleged plot that reaches from Chicago to Los Angeles. Let's break down the details of how Dirk's past might have finally caught up with him and what this could mean for his future. The other day, Lil Dirk was arrested in Florida on charges linked to a murder for hire plot, a serious accusation that's bringing a whole new level of attention to his life and career. According to federal prosecutors, Dirk and 5 others tied to his Only the Family, OTF collective, were part of a plan to take revenge against Quando Rondo's camp for the murder of King Von, Dirk's close friend and collaborator, back in November 2020. Authorities allege that this entire plot began when members of OTF wanted to seek retaliation for Von's death. The story of revenge didn't just stay in Chicago though. Prosecutors claimed that in August 2022, members from Lil Dirk's crew traveled to Los Angeles on the behalf of Dirk himself, and they had one goal in mind: to go to LA and take out Quando Rondo. However, this act of violence instead led to the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab, as the group allegedly carried out what they saw as retribution for Von's murder. On August 19, 2022, Quando Rondo and his cousin Lil Pab were in Los Angeles, making their way through the city, reportedly attending some business-related matters and spending time with close associates. Quando, known for his connections and tense history with Lil Durk's camp due to the tragic conflict that surrounded King Von's death, was cautious yet calm as they navigated through the city that day. By the time the sun started setting, they pulled into a gas station near the Beverly Center, just a quick stop to refuel before moving on. Unbeknownst to them, another vehicle had been tracking their movements, strategically following them through Los Angeles. By the time Quando and Lil Pab pulled into the gas station, the second vehicle was closing in, and everything was set for the ambush. As they parked, that white sedan that had been following them pulled in close, creeping up just enough for its passengers to get a clear line of sight, and in an instant, the calmness of that sunny afternoon was shattered.
Right now, the search is on for 3 people who police say shot at a Savannah rapper, killing a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles, and cameras captured the aftermath.
As shots rang out and chaos erupted, the black SUV became the center of a tragic, gut-wrenching scene. The air was filled with panic, and within moments, it was clear the ambush had left someone critically hurt. Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab, was hit, but the full weight of what had just happened didn't hit Quando until later on. Caught on camera, the haunting audio of Quando's screams went viral in the hours that followed. His voice is filled with absolute devastation, echoing through the chaotic scene as he realizes his cousin wasn't gonna make it.
The ending of a shooting that started in Los Angeles, California. Sheriff's deputies pulling out a man who had been shot in an SUV.
For Quando, this wasn't just a loss, it was a moment of public grief, a rare glimpse into the pain that artists like himself carry behind the scenes. It's that scream, filled with shock, disbelief, and grief, that made the story hit even harder, a reminder of how real and dangerous these conflicts can get. After the shots went off and Lil Pab was hit, police were called, and within minutes, the area was swarming with law enforcement and first responders. The gas station near the Beverly Center quickly transformed into a crime scene, with officers blocking off the area, trying to make sense of the chaotic scene. Paramedics rushed to treat Lil Pab, but it was clear his injuries were severe. Despite their efforts, he succumbed to his wounds right there on the spot, under the police lights right at the gas station, as his cousin Quando Rondo watched him pass away in shock. Quando, still being shaken up from the shock, could hardly process what had just happened. He was visibly distraught, pacing back and forth, his screams echoing across the lot, captured on cameras and phones by bystanders. Those screams would go viral, symbolizing the raw pain of a moment that could not be hidden or controlled, a heartbreaking reaction to losing someone so close so suddenly. The police, meanwhile, were already piecing together what little information they had. Witnesses reported seeing a white sedan speed off right after the shooting, leading investigators to believe this was a planned, targeted hit. This wasn't some random act of violence. It had all the signs of a calculated attack. The tragic moment left the hip-hop community stunned and mourning yet another loss in an ongoing cycle of violence. But that night was only the beginning. Law enforcement would dig deeper into the case, linking it to a broader network of rivalries and conflicts. And now with the federal indictment connecting Lil Pab's death to an alleged murder-for-hire plot involving Lil Dirk's OTF crew, this tragic story has taken on even darker layers. According to prosecutors, Lil Dirk is the man behind what they're calling a calculated murder-for-hire plot, allegedly orchestrated as revenge for the death of his close friend, King Von. They claim that Lil Dirk, along with several members of his OTF collective, conspired to take down Quando Rondo or someone close to him as payback for Von's tragic loss in 2020. This isn't just a simple feud. They're painting it as an organized, deliberate plan fueled by loyalty, revenge, and a desire to avenge Von's legacy. Prosecutors allege that Dirk's crew wasn't just acting out of anger. They reportedly promised rewards for their loyalty. The indictment describes coded conversations between the alleged conspirators, detailing promises of financial compensation for opportunities in the music industry under OTF. This, they say, gave the men a motivation to track down Quando's circle in Los Angeles and pull off a hit that would eventually send a message across the rap industry. Prosecutors are building the case around Dirk's deep connection to King Von and the idea that Von's death was a major turning point for Dirk. They're arguing that Dirk saw Von's death as something that couldn't go unanswered. According to the prosecutors, this wasn't just about grief, but about maintaining his reputation and loyalty within his crew and the streets. They claim Dirk felt a duty to take action, leading to this organized retaliation plan. A key element of the prosecution's case is that Dirk's associates were allegedly promised rewards, whether in the form of money, prestige, or elevated positions within OTF. The indictment mentions coded language used to communicate these promises, hinting at payouts and increased status for anyone who carried out the attack successfully. Prosecutors argue this incentivized Dirk's crew to go to extreme lengths, planning and executing an ambush with the expectation that their loyalty would eventually pay off. The prosecution alleges that the attack wasn't spontaneous. It was a result of deliberate planning. Members of OTF are accused of traveling from Chicago to Los Angeles with a mission, which was following Quando Rondo's movements and waiting for the right moment to strike. The hit itself, they claim, was executed in a way that aligns with a classic murder-for-hire operation, with members tracking Rondo's SUV, waiting for him and his crew to be in a vulnerable position before launching the attack. Court documents reveal that after the incident, The OTF members stopped at an In-N-Out where they discussed payments with one of the top OTF associates before heading back to San Diego to catch flights back home. Records show that there was a payment exchange that happened as a reward for the murder. Now, the most important part in all this is that they're saying that Lil Dirk is the mastermind behind everything. He was the one who provided funds for flights, ensuring his associates could travel from Chicago.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? Um, Check this out, man. If you hadn't already, go ahead and get your Rogue Energy drink, man. You know what I'm saying? They got different flavors, man. You know what I'm saying? Like this, something that like it's almost like tastes like drinking that purple Powerade. It's really, really good, man. You know what I'm saying? Use the code Malone TV when you do your first purchase or whenever you order something. Get 10% off your code on the code. You know what I'm saying? So get you some of that Rogue Energy drink, man. You know what I'm saying? And this that blue raspberry flavor. You know what I'm saying? I got all different color flavors. Like this that sour candy right here. You know what I'm saying? And let me see, it's really good. And it's that fruit punch. It's really good too. So get you some of that Rogue Energy drink, man. You know what I'm saying? And also, if you hadn't, go and get your boy book. You know what I'm saying? Hustle forward, not backward. From yours truly, Charles Malone. You know what I'm saying? Mama, I made it. You know, I got a description on the back of it, tells you a little bit about who I am. You know what I'm saying? So on Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble, you can get my book, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's on sale right now for the limited price of $9.99. So that will be changing here at the beginning of the year. So go ahead and get it while it's on sale. And I appreciate you. Now we can get back into the main event.
Chicago to Los Angeles. According to court documents, Dirk allegedly arranged for OT members to make this trip. So they were operating based on what he told them to do as the head honcho. Dirk's top associate, Keon Grant, reportedly coordinated logistics on the ground, but Dirk is said to have provided the financial resources and guidance needed for the ambush. Keon Grant arranged hotel accommodations, ski masks to conceal identities, and obtained 2 luxury sedans for the group. Court documents indicate that Grant was also the one who supplied firearms, including one reportedly converted into a fully automatic weapon, all of which prosecutors was facilitated under Dirk's orders. I think you probably at this point understand with Dirk. These aren't just accusations of association or indirect involvement. Prosecutors are painting him as the mastermind behind a deadly, premeditated act. He's being accused of financially and logistically supporting a murder for hire scheme that targeted a rival, going as far as to cover travel costs, conceal identities, and provide weapons for the attack. This is some serious stuff right here. And if the court accepts this narrative, it elevates his role in the case to the one who's going to carry the full responsibility for organizing a violent conspiracy with potential penalties, including life in prison or even death penalty, if the court finds sufficient evidence of intent. Moreover, the case is built around digital communications, flight records, and surveillance footage, evidence types that can be compelling in court. Prosecutors are likely betting that one of Dirk's associates could flip, testifying to strengthen their case even more. If any of the co-conspirators cooperate with authorities, it could seal the case against them, making the charges even harder to fight. Now, one of the things that's a little bit ironic about this entire situation is the fact that for the past 2 years, Lil Dirk has publicly been working on cleaning up his image. After years of being tied to the street life, he's tried to turn over a new leaf. For anyone who doesn't know, Lil Dirk has not only embraced Islam, but even went as far as converting, changing his name to Mustafa Abdul Malik. So he's definitely been on a journey of rebranding himself. On top of this, he's done community service and launched the Neighborhood Heroes Foundation to support underprivileged youth. And this shift didn't go unnoticed. He was even awarded an honorary key to the city in his hometown suburb of Broadway, Illinois.
Dirk Banks, or Lil Dirk, was honored and celebrated last week with keys to the villages of Bellwood and Broadview.
And so on behalf of the Village of Broadview, we are honored to present this key to the city to Dirk Banks Neighborhood Heroes.
See how I use ad blocker. Mindful, very demure.
We're going to stop it right there. We're gonna stop it right there. Yeah, man. The thing about this whole situation is really, really, really messed up. You know, I like Lil Dirk as an artist, man. You know what I'm saying? He powerful when it comes down to them lyrics. You know, and he keep that street, you know, that drill street music. It was going, but I think, me personally, I think it's the end of an era, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's just gonna really, really, really gonna be something for people to look at and think. But we will see what goes on with this whole, you know what I'm saying, little dirt thing. So, but anyways, you know what I'm saying. Y'all like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. It's your boy CM the Goat 5. We out. Deuces.